is your grid. Davide Ongaro from Italy, Juan Carlos Canas from Spain, Ty Tessman from Canada, Ryan Enfield from the United States of America, Birkin and Burak Kilic, the Kilic brothers from Germany, Cole Ogden from the US of A, Marco Garofalo from Italy, Bruno Coelho from Portugal, Johnny Skidmore from Great Britain, Dave Ronefelt from Sweden, Riccardo Burton from Italy, and Dakota Fend from the US of A. I'll tell you what, if I was Dakota Fend, I'd call a 10-minute timeout.
To psych everybody out?
Just for gamesmanship, because you're going to start 13th still. Out they come for the World Championship Final 2022 for 1/8 Nitro Off-Road Buggy, as IFMAR would call it. We call it the Nitro Buggy Worlds. Redovan will be the place where we will crown a new world champion. Thank you so much to X-Ray, to J Concepts, to Hot Race Tyres, to Hearts RC Models, InvisibleSpeed.net and Clinic RC, who've made this whole thing possible for us to be here. We hope we have a classic final. We hope you all enjoy it. My name's Nick Daman. I have Lefty the Great, Keenan White with me, and I have Matt, Riccardo and Frank doing the important things, which is providing the pictures and cutting them as well for RC Racing TV in our 16th year of operation. Cars are down. And they're away. The 22 World Championship Final is go, and immediately Juan Carlos Canas has a little sniff up the inside of Ongaro. It's gone out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 order. So Tessman still in third. Fourth is Ryan Mayfield. Just looking at anyone's gained anything. I think Ronefelt might have gained a place. But they split then already, a little bit of a tiny gap appearing at the front. But I don't think Canas is going to let Ongaro get away as he goes around the Conchemar corner for the first time. But suddenly there's a gap in the middle of the field. That has seen Ronefelt move into about 7th. So it's a good opening lap so far for Ronefelt as he tries to work himself up. Can't quite see where... Oh, and Ogden's had an accident and dropped back. Just trying to see where Fend is.
That's Fend. That just had an accident.
Fend is dead last. There's more oohing and ahhing, which obviously puts us off immensely. So, Ongaro leads. Let's be the winners. Let's be the leaders. Come on. Ongaro's leading. Second is Canas. Third is Tessman. Fourth is Mayfield. And then we've got one that is the 6th Kilic, which is Burak Kilic then. Ronefelt scored around in 8th at the end of the first lap. Unfortunately, to go to Fend's got it all to do because he's last and quite heavily last at the moment. So our leader sweeps around over that single and into the drop-down steps for the second time. Canas not quite able to hold on to it at the moment, but Canas kind of settled into this. So let's more focus on Canas in second. Red and blue going over the big single now and turning up the main straight because he's got a no man's land. Tessman, I think, also is trying to play himself in. I don't think anyone would be that disappointed with the opening. Obviously, they would prefer to be a little bit closer to Ongaro. Canas there lost a few tenths by going a bit wide down that very steep hill into the hay bales corner. And Ongaro easing away. And it's quite close at the moment between Canas and Tessman, with Ryan Mayfield also trying to keep up there. Then there's 3 cars together, which the Kilic brothers and Ronefelt. And it looks like Ronefelt's got past. Oh, no. Yes, he has. Lucky there. Got past another corner. So Ronefelt's moving forward at the moment. However, Ongaro is pulling away, yeah.
They cannot let him get that gap.
No, they already have, to be honest, Lefty. And it's now a case, really, where Canas is having a little bit of a conversation with Tessman about who wants to be second. So let's move up to second and third. So it's Tessman and Canas there.
And he's got in front of him.
And Tessman's got past Canas now.
Tessman has podiumed every World since 2012.
Well, he's in second at the moment, so that's okay.
He'll be looking to add a second Worlds to his list.
It's currently 2.5 seconds between Canas and Ongaro, and you can see the gap. And of course, since then, Tessman's just got a little bit further ahead of Canas. So, Tessman in second, Canas in third. Behind them is Mayfield, who's not being dropped. Then you've got Burak Kilic, who's under pretty heavy pressure from Ronefelt, who I'm sure wants to clear him. I think he feels he's quicker.
Yeah, he's just a little bit
down
more
they
pace.
come now, 4 minutes. Almost in the books, it's 3.5. And second, third and fourth getting right together. So it's Canada from Spain from the US of A, but out on the top it's Italy, as Alex Sanchetti thought he was going to do some marshalling but wasn't able to. And the marshalling he thought he was going to do was that of Ronafalk, who just dropped down a couple of places. Fend has made a couple of places up. He's no longer last, he's in 11th. Lead that time round 2.7 seconds for Ongara. And I'd say Ongara is pulling out by about 0.3 or 0.4 a lap at the moment. Tessman, though, driving hard in second. The thing about these finals is there's an ebb and a flow to it. Just because you go out fast doesn't mean you stay out fast. For this second, third and fourth pack, running up the hill into that double. And we've got fuel stops and everything else keep taking to 10. But at the moment, Ongaro absolutely gaining about 4/10 a lap on this pack. The 3 car, the mauve and white of Tessman, and it's the red and blue of Canas, and then the red, white and blue, more blue of course, of Mayfield. The Killiches are running together now. They've mistake made by Ryan Fickles now. The Killiches are running together in 5 and 6. And stay on second, third and fourth. More problems at the back for Cole Ogden, who drops the last. Fenn's sort of coming back again. He's coming back again for a long way down. He's got himself into, I think it's perhaps about 9th now. So that lead now has gone out by, it was always a second that time round, 50.033. Ongaro laying it down in front. These three, 51.2. So Ongaro has just lit the afterburners. He's gone. He's gone. He's going to give himself a staggering advantage for just being 6 minutes, almost, not even 6 minutes into the race. And they have absolutely no response for him at the moment. It's an hour final. At the moment, Ongaro is winning. But Tessman, this probably isn't helping their ultimate pace. That Tessman and Canas are having a little bit of a kind of a cat and mouse game. But they don't want to give up position, either of them. And they come round together, not quite touching. Just slightly dropping Ryan Mayfield. Nothing for Mayfield to get too worried about at the moment. In fact, in many ways, a watching brief might be the best way, but what's happening? Ongaro's going for fuel. So Ongaro is on a shorter fuel run than the others. This is why he needs to be so fast. So Ongaro now in third. So 1, 2 and 3 for at least a lap. So that's Ongaro running in third place.
And Fend is on the move. He's gotten across Ronafalk and hunting down the number 11.
Fend up to about 9th, but it's after that big lead that Ongaro had, he's now running in third. So Tessman leads the Worlds, probably not on count back, but the point about this is now that Ronafalk can't show this speed because he's also in the same traffic the others have been. So he's having a real good look at the back of Canas here, and it's obviously psychologically, if he just went past Canas, that would be a little bit unfortunate, but they see that he's just, so basically we already know Ongaro's running very short. Ongaro's going to be fast, but fueling a lot with his OS engine, because he's now going 2 laps longer. So looks like Ongaro has decided to throw for speed rather than economy, as Tessman leads again down the roller coaster. Ongaro, this is 2 laps he can't go faster than anybody because he's stuck behind them, so he's not gaining from his extra pace. He's got Mayfield on his tail. He's the bright coloured car in the middle of those 3. In the middle of those 4. Tessman, Canas, Ongaro, Mayfield.
As we see Tessman go over the start-finish line, and then we have Canas right behind him, but Ongaro's right there. Mayfield not letting them get away. That's important. And we have Fend in 5th and Ronafalk behind.
Yeah, they go up the top of the hill. Now, who's taking fuel there? Everyone's taking fuel. Everyone's taking fuel.
You see Canas, Tessman, Mayfield all come out.
So let's drop back to these guys coming out the fuel stops there. No, there.
And that breaks out a lead for Ongaro.
Everyone coming in for fuel.
But Ongaro has to go. He's going to be short on fuel, so he's going to have to make an extra stop. We will see. This is what happened at the Euros with Canas. But Mayfield just has to hang on to that tail end and be ready to pounce when any mistakes happen. As we see Tessman, who's got it up in a guard position to keep away the Canas. But with that happening, we see Ongaro just pulling out to a 6.2 second lead over Tessman, sorry.
Which is a fuel stop.
So Burak Kilik and the other Kilik brother, Berkan, and looks like Ronafalk got past Fenn. I don't know what happens to Fenn.
Well, I think there's a fuel stoppery at the moment, Lefty. They're kind of going in and going out the fuel.
Fenn and Ronafalk came in at the same time. So Fenn's had a mistake somewhere.
It can happen. So they plunge down the hill again, around the Conchmar corner. This is now Tessman and Knaus. In fact, Mayfield's dropped off these two since those fuel stops. And we now have second and third. You say it was a 6.4 second lead that time round. Oh, Ongaro's gone sub 50, 49.982.
Wow.
But Tessman did 50.2, so they've all found a bit of pace. Obviously, Ongaro's found a bit more. Now, what he obviously is trying to do is get the point where when he stops for fuel, he's still ahead of these guys, so he doesn't have that situation where two or three others not going as fast as he could go. He's going for a fast but thirsty run as his concept. Must have worked out this is the fastest way behind, but second and third is still an epic battle between Ty Tessman and Juan Carlos Knaus. Just temporarily, they've dropped Ryan Mayfield. Behind him is Burak Kilic, then Birkenkic. Ronafalk is in 7th, Coelho is in 8th, Fend is in 9th, and then you've got Ricky Burton, Johnny Skidmore, Cole Ogden and Marco Barufalo currently bringing up the rear. Up and over they go. Running up this way, Ongaro pulling another 0.3 of a second there, 50.5. But the battle absolutely on the track is for second place between Juan Carlos Knaus in the red and blue number 2, and then the sort of purple and white number 3 of Ty Tessman. We've not seen any of these drivers we thought might coming through the pack so far. No one's particularly out of it, but there's a big field spread. Dakota Fend is something like 24 seconds off the lead now, so he's going to have to see miracles get through.
And this is all good news for Ongaro, who's pulling out to a 6.7.
What is good news for Ongaro, Lefty, is that actually Tessman and Knaus are not going as fast as they could go because they're slowing each other up.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying they can go as fast as Ongaro, but the point about this really is that he is trying to get ahead. So when he does stop again next time, he won't come out behind them, so he can carry on going as fast as he can go and having made the fuel stop. Bit of a battle further down the field here between Kilic, Burak and Ronafalk. And there is a big cheer as Juan Carlos Knaus finally hops over Tessman into second place. Now, Knaus immediately has put a bit of a gap in, but that could be a bit of a false impression because he came rolling down that hill into the Conchmar corner. But so second and third changes, huge cheer. Didn't need to show you a replay because you could hear the cheer all the way back to the United States of America. But leading by 7.2 seconds. Is going to go up? It is. It goes to 8.1 after overtake. 8.1 seconds is the lead for David Ronafalk. Ronafalk's had another stop, so Ronafalk's done what he needs to do. He's gone in for a stop. He's come out. He's still in the lead. So it's all going well for Ronafalk. Sorry, Ongaro. Too many Davids. Wrong David. David Ongaro's come in, done another stop, and has come out in the lead. So he has already unwound the stagger of his more thirsty concept in just 13 minutes. Mayfield begins to get a little bit closer to Tessman in 4th. Gets a chance to show them all in one frame just about for now. You'll see any second now. You'll see Ongaro. There he is, just flashing through. But the battle for second and third is the tighter one. Though it's interesting that Knaus now is possibly able to pull away from Tessman. And Mayfield running in 4th place. So probably 4 laps after Ongaro goes in, we'll see these two run in, and when we know they should go in the same lap. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the pit lane on that one. The cars drop down again. And definitely Knaus has managed to put a little bit of air now between himself and Tessman. Behind them, Ronafalk now scored in 5th. I'm not sure whether that's down to fuel. And Ongaro absolutely makes a mistake which has cost him about, well, he was 1.5 ahead. Now he's about 0.5, so a second of mistake for Ronefalk. But is this the lap the boys come in? No, they've got one more to go, though I think. Yep, they've got one more to go. So first mistake we've seen. In fairness to Tessman and Keenan, I've not seen them make a mistake at all, Lefty. So everyone's driving very well. We've got the biggest mistake we've seen was 1 second from Ongaro. But he is human after all. So that's always nice to know. Ronefalk seems to have absolutely claimed 5th place for his own now. So I don't think that's anything to do with fuel strategy.
Well, you got around Burkan Killick and got some cleaner. And
yep, and in fairness to Fenn's coming as well.
yes.
So both Fenn and Ronefalk could well be scored in the top 6 within the first 20 minutes. We are not even a quarter way through this one. As Ongaro leads, Keenan second, Tessman third, Mayfield fourth. Kind of thinking it's maybe fuel stop time for these two. Kind of hoping it is, otherwise I'll get the numbers all wrong. No, they are going long. Now this is interesting. I'm wondering how many extra fuel stops that Ongaro is going to have to make, because they're now coming up to 5 laps since he went in. And 5 laps is, in this such a long track, is about 4 and a bit minutes. So it's a very different strategy being run by the Ongaro team and all the other people. It's a completely different concept. It's go as fast as possible, literally chucking as much fuel into the engine as you can find, and then see what happens next. Now, of course, the other thing to remember is that these cars are all lovely and fresh still, even though 15 minutes in. All the drivers have been saying they'll be running on ball tyres within 35 minutes or so. They're virtually ball coming out the semis, so they're going to have 20 minutes on ball tyres. How is your car going to handle with a lot less grip? How is it going to put the power down?
Maybe some guys will conserve their tyres as
and then they go to the pits now. So finally we have the Keenan stop. There you can see it there. Power in, fuel in. Gord Tessman picks the car up. Mrs. Tessman, I don't know her name actually. What's Tessman's mother's name? None of us know. No. Mrs. Tessman yes. Does the fueling, and they come out, all 3 of them, exactly where they were, but now, of course, significantly further behind Ongaro because he has unwound this fuel stagger. Ronefalk, because he didn't stop for fuel yet, because he's obviously once again with his Caustic engine running long, is getting closer, but that's not a real closer.
Ronefalk stopped.
Did he? Okay. Well, Ronefalk did stop. He's getting closer anyway. I should remember you're always going to watch the Viking. If I'm getting it wrong, tell me. On the Viking. But he's looking a lot. He is really catching up at the moment. Ronefalk, Dakota Fenn's in a 49.7, by the way.
Wow.
So Fenn's flying. Now, it's interesting because he's flying towards the end of the last chance. We are 17 minutes in, and the last chance is 15 minutes. So Fenn's flying. You know, either Fenn, you kind of think that Fenn or Ronefalk could make second. I just can't see them at the moment making first because of the way that Ongaro's going off. But, you know, as we said, it's an incredibly long race.
And also we have Mayfield and Tessman behind each other right now. We know the last time these guys met what fireworks we had. Will we see that again?
I think it's unlikely. There's $5,000 on the line. It's far more important than that. But Tessman, Keenan, the gap to Ongaro last time round was 8 seconds. Just looking at Ongaro, he's just completed another lap. I think it may have even gone up a little bit from there. Ongaro's last lap was a 50.9. Keenan goes round in 51.4. Yeah, 50.9 actually for Tessman. So Tessman now on this particular run looks a tad faster than Keenan. And here comes Mayfield. Mayfield is going to. I just can't help feeling Mayfield is going to start making a real nuisance of himself.
And behind
Ronefalk 50.4. So he's catching up. What's Fenn done this time round? 52. He's had a little minor wobble. He's had some traffic. One of the two. He's in clear air for this lap though. Killiches are blocking out 6th and 7th places. As 2nd, 3rd and 4th come over the rumble strip again, all together. Oh, mistake there. And that's the first one we've seen. And that drops Tessman back and suddenly releases Mayfield now to have a bit of a struggle and a bit of a track at Keenan. But it's good news for Keenan. So let's move forward to the blue car of Mayfield. So he's the second one over the line now. So there's Mayfield, the centre of the... And what is also happening is Ronefalk now is getting really, really close. Let's see that one again. What happened? So everything's looking fine. And I think it's just a case, just a little misjudgment. He's got in too far. So...
And to be honest, Keenan is not too far behind Ongaro now. Ongaro must have come in.
I think Ongaro stopped again. Yeah. He was 8 seconds in, and now he's... let's have a look. Yep, it's another stop for Ongaro. Another mistake further down. I thought it was one of our leaders. It wasn't. It was a bit further down in the pack. And they sweep down together. And look, now, it looks to me like Mayfield's kind of thinking, all right, fair enough now. I better just release myself. So Mayfield, blue and yellow, now catching up to Canas. Ronefalk is getting very, very close to Tessman. And we've got two pairs of battling now. Ronefalk coming up from 11th on the grid. Individual fast laps from all sorts of people. 50.5. Ongaro stopped that time. He did 56.2 with a stop, which is pretty impressive.
Wow.
So he's staying in the lead, but this extra thirstiness means he's not breaking miles ahead, though he is still pretty much ahead despite that. Up and over the rumble strips. And Mayfield, once given a chance to have a think about Canas, that's what he's doing. So Canas in second, Ongaro leading, Mayfield third, fourth is Tessman, fifth is Ronefalk. Sixth at the moment is Fend. That's probably on the fuel strategy because he's had a couple of issues, but Fend is also very, very quick. And we are 1/3 of the way through the 2022 IFMAR World Championship final. Ongaro has the lead, but he hasn't necessarily taken the win, that's for sure. Let's drop back to the next pair, which is Tessman and Ronefalk, because they're also scrapping away for 4th and 5th. That's your 2014 World Champion, your 2016 World Champion having a bit of a scrapette. Moving down, Ronefalk has come back. He didn't have a bit of a bad start, a particularly good start, a few problems clearing the Kiliches, but now showing the pace of that Mayako chassis. But in fairness, the X-ray of Tessman is holding him up at the moment. Tessman's in a period of the race where I think that accident's kind of slightly irritated him. He's now got to get his head back in the game. Ongaro's lead out to 4.243. And here they go. Right together, can Ronefalk find a way past Tessman? I think it's quite key because Tessman, I think, is the slower of those four at the moment, coming down to the hay bale corner. The issue is they can absolutely not afford to take any risks at all because David Ongaro is pulling away. Well, he's not pulling away too much. He's actually pulling away slowly. In fact, that last lap he actually lost a couple of tenths, but the net gain he's making is quite large. But no one's too far ahead. I mean, we know for a fact that if you have an unnecessary accident, it's about 5 to 6 seconds because the track's so large. It takes ages for the marshals to get there. Good luck for Tessman. He's managed to gap Ronefalk a little bit more that time around. So that time it was a 50.3 for Ongaro, 50.1 for Canas, a 51 flat for Mayfield, 51 flat for Tessman, and a 51.2. So the fastest man that particular lap was Canas. Canas now has the traffic of the 8 of Barufalo ahead of him. That'll be moved out of the way by the referee very quickly. And Ronefalk now looking to get up and past Tessman, which is not an easy concept. And this is where you get to see how hard it is to overtake here at Redovan if you've got two guys who know what they're doing. And let's be honest, two world champions do know what they're doing. A little bit extra bit of steering had put in there by Tessman as he came down the hill there. You could see, I'm going to hit that and just put a little bit of extra right-hand lock. And that's into down those corners again. Once again, coming off the end of that double, round the Hearts hairpin, it's absolutely a point where time is lost by Ronefalk on Tessman. But you look at this section in a second. So they're coming up the hill now. He's not going to stop the field. They're coming up the hill now. And then Ronefalk will now normally gain a bit, coming round the hot race hairpin, and then down into this corner here. And they are all together. And it's just interesting. The cars are making their speed, and the drivers are making their speed at completely different places.
And Ongaro is just saying, see you later. At this point.
Well, he's actually his lead gone down. His lead's only 4 seconds. He's been matched by one car's Canas. It stays at 4 seconds. It will, I think, go up a little bit because I think that Canas will come in for fuel before he does. But the lead is not getting any bigger. It's not getting smaller. But Canas is beginning to sort of drop. I say about drop Mayfield. Mayfield's in a 50 flat. So perhaps he's not dropping Mayfield then. But we are still waiting to see if we're going to get a denouement of the...
Canas came in for fuel.
Mayfield's come in for fuel.
Tessman
came in and Ronefalk. They've all come in for fuel, and nothing's changed. So So they all stop there at 36.30. This should mean that temporarily the lead is going to look absolutely ginormous for Ongaro. But Ongaro will actually have to stop this back down. Ongaro now going to score with about a 10-second lead. But he needs to stop as well. So Ongaro leading from these drivers, Canas, Mayfield, Tessman. We're looking at Tessman and Ronefeld, which is the closest battle at the moment. And you just think that if Ronefeld could get through, just trying to see how far away. In fact, Canas has got a little bit of a lead now on Mayfield.
Ongaro's made a mistake. Ongaro made a mistake.
Whereas, he has been marshalled. Yeah, he has made a mistake. So let's remember about this. Was that coming out there? Did he come in for fuel, or was it being...
I didn't see, but I just saw him. He made a mistake right there in the 180, the off-camber 180, and that puts Canas back in play.
Well, his lead was 11 seconds. It's about 1 now. I can't think he made a 10-second mistake. It surely must have been an exit lap at the same time.
I'm sure.
But this is the problem. We can't watch every single part of the track. But anyway, the fact is that's the distance. And it's no longer a massive distance. So let's move forward to the two cars. So it's Canas and Mayfield now who are battling much closer as they come up and over the rumble strips. Canas in the red and blue. There's still a bit of a gap to Ongaro, but Ongaro go across the start line now. And there goes Canas now. Ongaro, 1 minute lap. Yeah, so that's either a big mistake or a fuel stop. He has to stop fuel again. And we'll soon find out. And he'll drop out of the lead. So Canas and Mayfield right together again as they battle over second and third. There's a small gap, and then fourth and fifth is Tessman and Ronefeld. Second and third up towards the switchback, and now over the Huddy corner they go. Down the roller coaster. Canas and Mayfield, they're kind of alternating fast laps. Mayfield, who after qualifying, when in fairness, his second day of qualifying just went to pot, was very despondent, but had a think, had a couple of beers, and has come back strong. Has come back pretty much on the pace of Canas. He's come back on not quite on the pace of Ongaro, but Ongaro's made a mistake. So that's why they're a bit closer now. And they look to come up the straight. And Canas is within 2.4 seconds of the leader as they go down the hill again and up onto the rumble strips. At this point, he's not, in fairness to Ongaro, he's not really being caught, but he's not really breaking away. Tessman's put a bit of a gap now between himself and Ronefeld, so that immediate threat's gone. But the top five, of course, are being covered by something in the region of 6 seconds. So it's all very close in this World Championship final. We haven't got halfway yet either.
And the man on the move is Fenn. He is hunting down Ronefeld.
He's done a 49.444 just then, so he's absolutely flying, but he is unfortunately a very long way away. He's got some pace, but it doesn't always help sometimes. But Mayfield is right on the back of Canas again. The gap to Ongaro staying at about 2 seconds. They both 50.4, 50.4 and 50.3 they did that time round. So they're setting some pretty blistering sort of qualifying pace now. It took a while to get into it. I think they kind of wear off the sheen of the tyres initially. Now they're in the meat of them, and of course they'll slow down towards the end as the actual tread completely wears off. Still looking good for Tessman because he's now managed to break a gap to Ronefeld. Fend is currently only 4 seconds behind Ronefeld and absolutely flying. So you're quite right, Lefty. This is a potential comeback with half an hour to go of biblical proportions. But he's going to rely on Fenn driving absolutely clean. Interesting, just then, suddenly Canas has got a little bit of a gap on Mayfield. 50.3, 50.4, 50.8 for 1, 2 and 3. Very good chance that the next person to go in will be Ongaro. So we'll see Canas in the lead as he tries to bridge the gap to the Italian. Tessman and Ronefeld are closing up again. And we're at 32 minutes. We've not got anywhere near the finals yet. That was a 5 car in the pits. They run to the bottom of the circuit. There they go. Another lap in the books. And actually, look at this. Canas has now suddenly found a bit of pace, and Canas is getting closer and closer and closer and closer to Ongaro. So it's all ebbed and flow. We've had the Ongaro period, and now we're looking like we're getting the Canas period. Just so you say, Ronefalk's found a load of space again. And Ronefalk's got Tessman. Ronefalk has got Tessman to move into fourth, but at the front, first and second are getting back together again. So Ronefalk on the move. Well, he's moved past one. Mayfield's been dry. I think it's Canas now who's found the pace. Canas, the Spaniard, the local favourite, has found the pace. And the crowd's going to go wild in a minute because he's going to go in the lead when Ongaro drops into the pits. So, as we said, don't despair when Ongaro went so fast. This is going to be a very open, very competitive final, and we are not halfway yet. And is it Tessman's time? Is it Ongaro's time to pit? No, it's very a bit longer this. I think they're doing some alternate pit strategies here with different times. But look at this, first and second right together after half now. Third and fourth are right together. Ronefalk's massively on the move as well. He's bridged the gap to Mayfield in no time at all. And also on the move is Fend. 5 of the best drivers in the world are all on the move. So, what can you do? The only person who's not on the move is Ongaro, who's at the front and being shot at by them. Dropping down into the Montgemar corner. They've got some traffic ahead, but the blistering pace of these 5 is absolutely unreal. Maybe and the blistering heat as well.
And Ronefalk gets on Mayfield.
So Ronefalk now is just moving forward. I think probably because he's slightly, Tessman's made another mistake and Tessman is overtaken by Fenn. So Fenn now moves into 4th. And there we got a fuel stop from, is that Ongaro stopped? No, it wasn't. No. Sorry, I've got myself in wrong. Ongaro has stopped. So now leading. Our leader is now Canas. In second place, it's Ronefalk. In third place, it's Mayfield. In fourth place, it's Ongaro. So Canas is your leader. Let's drop back to Ronefalk, who's won back the orange, the yellow and green car. He's on the move as well. Over the rumble strips. Canas has got a nice little lead, actually. And you'll see what it is when it comes over about 3.5 seconds. But Ronefalk's been released after starting 11th. And he's closer than he was. But Canas seems to have found some pace. Ongaro, and it's just getting a little bit more confusing because they're going through some lap traffic as well. So you can't always think that car is that car is that car. You have to kind of look a little bit more carefully. But we're looking at Ronefalk in second now. Behind him immediately as more pit stoppery happens. So that was Ongaro going past. And so Ongaro, they have gone. So Ongaro now goes back in the lead. And the others all stop for fuel. There they go, rolling out. There's the Techno of Buffalo. And look, there we go. Fender's there. Right, so we're back as we were after a lap. So, but slightly better. So Ongaro's had a slightly better rub of that particular fuel stop. There's the car broken down over there, delivering water to the marshals. It's quite nice. I think it's quite hot out there. And let's get on to Ronefalk. So he's coming over that single, turning left and getting over and onto the Hearts Bummer, down the rumble strips. In third place, Ronefalk now. And quite solid in third place, round the concrete hairpin. Is he getting closer to Canas is the question. It was 3 points. Yes, he's gained 9/10 of a second that time. So Ronefalk through the fuel stops. Once again, Adrian Berton and Pierre Ronefalk doing their magic. And Ronefalk has got past his old teammate. Cole Ogden lapped him. He's getting closer to Canas in second. Now, interestingly, we're getting another phase here where Canas isn't quite as quick as Ongaro. Now, what's happened to the Americans and the Canadians? Rowan Mayfield, again, not having his great this time. And Fend also. So, I think Fend is looking like the most likely from the raw area at this point. Just a little bit of pace is missing from Mayfield at the moment. But no pace missing from Ongaro. He's at a 49.9. Waiting for Canas to cross the line. It's a long wait. That's bad news for him. And he goes across in 50.6. So the gap now, first to second, is 3.7 seconds. And Ronefalk is a lot closer to Canas than Canas is to Ongaro. And behind Ronefalk, it's then a lapped car followed by Mayfield and then Dakota Fenn. So Dakota Fenn now is significantly ahead of Ty Tessman in 5th place. And we're over halfway now. Flying by, 26 minutes to go. Now the question is, how quickly can or will Ronefalk catch up Canas? These hour-long finals. And that is Lefty getting the answer absolutely correct because he's on his tail already. So Ronefalk right onto the tail of Canas. Almost instantaneously now. He's got a chance to run side by side up the straight, but he's going to narrow it against him. Over the double, dropping down into the hot race hairpin. So the gap now is 0.3 of a second.
And Canas makes a mistake.
Made a mistake. He's rolled out. He got back on his wheels again. That was lucky. So Ronefalk, let's see that one again. We've got a chance before it gets crazy again. Canas basically, as he looked at it, he just turned too early, rolled, but luckily it got his wheels. So unlucky, but it's a free pass for Ronefalk. And Ronefalk now is setting out after Ongaro. So it's now our 2016 world champion trying to chase down our 2018 world champion. The first one has just gone across the line. There's a long way to go. There's a long distance to go, but it's Ronefalk v Ongaro. Basically, if you follow RCGP, this is the story of RCGP. What normally happens is Ronefalk breaks down. But let's find out what's going to happen here. Ongaro goes underneath us now. The gap was 4.7 seconds with 25 minutes to go, but Ronefalk's been putting in some pretty impressive times individually, but certainly generally the fastest laps actually are not going to Ronefalk, they're going to Ongaro, but it's just a bit more consistency we see from Ongaro. But Ongaro, a bit more consistency from Ronefalk. Ongaro has the individual fastest laps, but the thing to remember is that Ronefalk started in 11th and he's now got himself into second. There's some traffic in between which will be moved out the way by Mark Stitson. That's what's happening already. I think it's on the Killiches. I must say the other driver is incredibly respectful of the protagonists in the championship races. So you have to say this is all power to them. Now it's very likely if Ronefalk doesn't make a mistake that he will actually spend at least a lap in the lead when Ongaro comes in for fuel. At 4.7 doesn't seem like 4.7. Oh, that's because I'm looking at Burton's car, which is slightly very similar painting. So it's 4.7. It stayed 4.7.
Ongaro has a mistake.
Ongaro makes a little mistake. Just a little one, and those little ones add up. Canas actually has dropped off the back of Ronefalk really quite quickly. I think Canas had a little minor mistake off camera as well. So Ongaro now being hunted down by Ronefalk. Ronefalk, remember, is your European champion. Ongaro, the reigning RCGP champion from season 1. Never a European champion, Ongaro. Quite remarkable. Of course, you're a reigning world champion. So you've got the reigning world champion chasing the reigning European champion. In for fuel comes Ongaro. Out he goes again. So Ronefalk now leads the world championship. Ronefalk leads the world championship. They'll be asking Ricky Burton to get out of the way, and he gets out of the way very well. So we have, and what I think Ongaro though has come out. Ongaro's come out behind Canas.
Yep.
So Ongaro's come out behind Canas. It's dropped back one to the red and blue. It's two actually. The red and blue to Canas. Coming over the rumble strip now. Red and blue. Canas number 2. So that means that Ronefalk now getting a bit of unrestricted driving because, of course, he is likely if Canas stays out long enough.
And
Ongaro,
a mistake.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And that's not what you want to do. That wasn't Ronefalk. Lefty, calm it. Ronefalk underneath us. And there goes. So Ongaro currently is about 4.9 seconds behind Ronefalk. A stop is about 6.5. But we're looking at Canas in second. And interestingly, Mayfield's now, it's a huge ebb and flow the whole time because Mayfield now is ebbing back towards Canas. He's in fourth place, obviously. In fact, he's right behind Ongaro. So just to make Ongaro our focus, it's the middle of those three cars, the white light car, because he's now got Mayfield on his toe, and Mayfield's isn't taking no for an answer as they come round here. So Mayfield in the blue car. Oh, there, a little scuffle there for Ongaro. And they drive up, with a slap land. He didn't help Mayfield on that point at all. No real difference in the 50.0 against 50.1, 49.9. Mayfield is absolutely finding some pace now. Fend is not. Are you really? You'd be. Oh, a mistake by Mayfield. That is going to be very costly in this environment. So I was about to say you wouldn't count any of these guys out at the moment. Now, what's noticeable is Ongaro not making an awful lot of ground on Canas at the moment. And if Ronefalk can keep it all four wheels down, it'd be really interesting to see where he comes out at the end of this next pit stop. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not actually sure where they are, whether it still needs to be one more made. So let's move forward to. We should be with the Canas and Ongaro. They're coming up the main straight now. In they go into the pit stop. So Ongaro leads, and then Ronefalk, you can see just fine. That's not 4.5 seconds of anyone's money. So in that pit stop cycle, as Ongaro slips through, when you watch it, you go around, you'll see Ronefalk there. Ronefalk is 2, perhaps 3 seconds closer, and then now I'm not certain because Ongaro is going in really oddly, but I think they have the same number of stops to make it might be even that Ronefalk has one less. So pit stops are coming into it, but suddenly it's Ongaro against Ronefalk. It's 2016 v 2018. They've opened up a huge gap for some reason on Juan Carlos Canas. As they come round this time. So the gap is 1.7 seconds with 20 minutes to go. Flying over the doubles. Ongaro leads. He's raced. These guys know each other probably better than anybody because the amount they've raced in RCGP. They get to race hour-long finals 3 or 4 times a year. Well, they did once and then obviously done it again this year with a break for COVID, of course. Looks like a slightly better lap for Ongaro this time. Canas back 7 seconds now on these two. The only Canas has a problem is pit stop. Mayfield back a further 3, and then Fender Mayfield now battling for top American. So that gap last time, remind you, was 1.7. The gap now is taking a long time, 1.6. So 10th of a second gained as the two giants of European off-road racing. They're the ones who've won the trophies. I mean, Canas is super quick, but he's not won anything yet. He will do, but not yet. And these are the guys who've won world championships. They've got the attitude, they've got the mental ability to do it. It's Ongaro against Ronefalk. I must admit, I'm not particularly surprised I'm saying that at this point in the World Championship final. I thought I might be saying Ongaro Ronefalk, and I am kind of saying Mayfield as well. He's in 4th, Fend in 5th. Fend himself doing really, really well from starting dead last. You know, you've got to make up a big, big gap. But Ronefalk knows what he has to do. He's done it before, but more importantly, Ongaro knows what he has to do, and he's done it before. They've had these battles, and they've both won them. Gap down now to 1.5. It's going to take a while, but a 10th of a second a lap. Ongaro passes underneath us now. There's Ronefalk. Round they go through the hot race hairpin. A little bit of a skid round now at this point, of course. The tyres are screaming enough. There's probably no tread on them. And they are sitting there spinning away, especially in that uphill pull out of the straw bale hairpin. Plunging down again. This lead is stubbornly staying there, but I would absolutely put money on the fact it's closer now. That is not a 1.5 second lead. I'm not quite sure where it disappeared. I think it was a bit of a lack of drive coming out of that hairpin. And now Ongaro has Ronefalk right on his tail, and the gap has dropped down to less than a second. It's half a second as they battle for the 2022 World Championship. Flying up again, and they battle anymore because now Ongaro's gone for fuel. There he goes, out, bang, fuel, done. And this is this a fuel stop in hand for Ronefalk, or is this just the alternation? 17 minutes to go. Ongaro needs to stop twice more to the end from 17 minutes. You can't do it one. You should be able to do it. I think he might have stopped 3 times in 17 minutes, but twice you should be able to do it twice. Relatively easy 2-stop. Yeah, 2-stop, no problem at all. So Ronefalk may actually be a little bit further ahead. It may be he doesn't need. So we need to see when Ronefalk goes in to see whether he needs to stop twice or just once. And as Ronefalk comes from 11th on the grid in a great first 35 minutes, but I think we're all surprised he's managed to overhaul Ongaro. But the gap is 5 seconds. Oh, and there's been a problem. And that's going to wipe away most of the lead and wipe away most of the advantage you may have had because of the... we got that one again? Let's see what happened to Ronefalk. You've got to make no mistakes. Just the end of it, I think, again, there's a bit of confusion with the back marker. Now, there are 2 back markers now between them. Interesting, it's not really played JCC into it either. JCC is 3.5 seconds back behind Ongaro. That's going to cost David about 3 seconds. The 3 seconds he can't afford, that's for sure. And that will have heartened Ongaro dramatically. Right, that lap round was a 56. As we run with Ronefalk, is he coming for fuel? So Ronefalk doesn't come in for fuel, so Ronefalk goes around again, and we're at 16 minutes. So Ronefalk, he's coming down the hill to the straw bale hairpin. Drives away again, up the hill, switches through the switchback. He's only a small distance, 2 seconds ahead of Ongaro. Does he need to do the same number of pit stops, or does he need to do one less? If he needs to do one less, so the same number of pit stops, same number of pit stops or one more. If he doesn't the same number of pit stops, this is a real lead. If he needs to do one more, he's about 3 seconds behind. Either way, they're both running on rubber that's rubbish. Well, it's not even, it's just slick tyres. And actually, if you look at this now, Ongaro looking like he's gaining a bit more. Actually, Ronefalk's just on 49.7 and Ongaro's on 50.1. So they're really putting some speed down. 15.25. Right, absolutely certain now that Ronefalk, when he comes in, will only need to stop once more. And it's very likely Ongaro. Oh, he's going to make a mistake. Going to get going. So twice in a row, mistakes at the straw bale hairpin, and first and second are right together. So he's handing back his fuel advantage. So you have my fuel advantage back, he says to Ongaro. Keenan seems to be dropping out of this. Even these two are making, well, Ronefalk's making mistakes. Keenan's not really gaining. You got Fend in fourth. Fend's got past Mayfield and isn't that far behind. They carry on making these mistakes. Fend will come into play. Absolutely. In fact, Fend, I think, is very, very close to Juan Carlos Keenan. So that's up for play as well. But obviously first and second is more important at this point than third and fourth. Ronefalk going wide. This is his time for fuel. No, it's not. So definitely no issue whatsoever. Ronefalk will stop once more. I think it's likely that they both have the same. No. It really depends whether he'll stop once more after this, and therefore obviously so will Ongaro. Oh, so this is the real gap now. This is the real gap. Both of them need to stop once more. They're probably still at quite different times, but both of them need to stop once more. And the battle is on for the 2022 World Championship. It's this close after 47 minutes. He's gone wide and into the lead. He went wide, and Ongaro takes the lead of the World Championship. It's not been a great few laps for Ronefalk. Perhaps the tyres really are going now. And Ronefalk moves into fuel. Right, so let's carry on with Ongaro, because it's now when Ongaro stops. Will Ronefalk still be in position to attack him? Oh, I think Ronefalk's really suffering now from a lack of grip. He had a lovely purple patch in the middle, but the grip's gone. And you kind of think that Ongaro, it may have just swung all the way back to Ongaro. I don't think Ongaro will be out for long before he stops for fuel. And he'll have to stop once more. And when they come round in a second, we'll see what the actual gap is. Looks about 5 or 6 seconds, which is actually a fuel stop. They're all having to be careful now. They haven't got the grip they had. Ongaro crosses the line. What will the gap be when Ronefalk crosses the line now? And the answer to that is the gap is 6 seconds, so it's just a bit more than the fuel stop. Fuel stop only costs about 5. So when Ongaro comes out, at the moment, he should be in the lead. But Ronefalk knows he has to keep pushing, and they both will have to stop once more after this final stop. For Ongaro will make his penultimate stop in a minute. We've just seen the penultimate stop for Ongaro, for Ronefalk. So Ongaro round the Contramar. My guess is this one or the next one. But they have been quite floaty with their fuel strategy at the moment. I'm not sure whether perhaps they're finding it's not using as much fuel as they thought. Is it using more fuel than they thought? 6.0 finally goes in now. Right, so Ongaro goes in. Down he goes. Oh no, problem getting out. Oh, what's going on down there? Problem in the release section there. I think there was a foreshortening actually by the marshal, but definitely there's a problem getting the car down. That's resulted in, at the end of this, it's Ronefalk leading Ongaro. Okay, we've got 11 minutes and 1 fuel stop for each of them. in the 2022 World Final. You can see the gap. You can see the protagonists. You can see what's happening. The pressure on these two is immense. I kind of feel that Ongaro is feeling a bit more freed now he's behind. And it's Ongaro against Ronefalk, European champion against world champion, and former world champion against current world champion. So Ronefalk with the Mayako chassis he picked up a few months ago. And of course it's the associated for Ongaro, for which he's won so many of his many championships and awards. Right. First running lap with Ongaro out of the pits. And I just think Ongaro's got a tiny bit more grip than Ronefalk. Not a huge amount, but enough that it's going to pay. You see, he's got the ability, he's looking to turn up the inside. The referee's watching, so any move that has to be made will have to be made absolutely fairly and cleanly. But you kind of think if two drivers are going to drive, oh, and there we go, that's it. Put the power on, got a tank slap, Patel went out, and into the lead goes Ongaro with 10.5 minutes to go. Will that be it? Or can Ronefalk fight back against a car that looks a little bit swifter? But now the hunter becomes the hunted. And the nerves change from, oh, I've got to hold on to this, so I've got nothing to lose. So, come round again for another lap. We are now on turning lap 59. Ongaro just gapping Ronefalk a bit at the moment. Ronefalk really concentrating around these hairpins, because that's the key point. 10 minutes left. Just to give you the update, Canas is behind Fenn. So Fenn now's on the podium in third, and about 5 seconds back from these two, so a major mistake, he could be second or first. But the gap last time round was 1 second exactly. It's not far off that now, but they're having to drive so precisely because they're driving on this track with very little grip now. Certainly the fact, two of them made a mistake there. Ongaro oversteered, and in an attempt to get up the inside, Ronefalk made a mistake, but he's gained overall on that lap, as you can see. Gap goes down to 3.34 of a second. 7 seconds back it was to Fend last time round in third. Can Fend make it? No, Canas has got past Fend. So there's been a mistake by Fend on that last lap. Ronefalk just touches the barrier more than he wants to. The key point for Ongaro is there's going to be a point where Ronefalk will go into the pits before him, which means he'll have some laps where he hasn't got to worry about a man behind him. And the precision of these guys, after running for 52 minutes, is astounding. Astounding. And whatever happens now, we've had an absolutely fantastic main final, a classic in many ways. The ebb and the flow, the drive through the field of both Ronefalk and Dakota Fend has been spectacular, but the sheer control of Davide Ongaro even more so. And interestingly, there was a little mistake there again from Ronefalk, and he drops back a little further. He was only half a second. That's now about a second and a bit. It was the tiniest of errors, as the car isn't quite doing what they wanted to do anymore on bald tyres. Is Ongaro now making this world championship his own? Is he making it 6 years a world champion? The first person to retain his championship, only the second double champion, and at a time which is significantly more competitive it was when that was first done. Though you should never compare eras. Let's not get into that one. Round the Contramar they both go. Ronefalk has kind of made up for that error. He's, interestingly, I'm not wondering whether Ongaro's a little bit tightened up, because there's a big error on that lap, but Ronefalk's not really lost much time. Now, he kind of goes the line, he's lost 2/10 and he made an error of a second, so interesting there. There's a huge amount of traffic ahead of them. That could really play a part, though in fairness to the traffic, it's been playing ball. And they come down to these bottom corners. It's down here that Ronefalk made a couple of errors that cost him a few seconds, but we've seen a couple of errors over the hour from Ongaro. Another mistake by Fend, by the way, so I don't think Fend's going to be winning this. He might still get the podium, and I think he's behind Canas again now. Yep. So he's a European 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Mayfield is in fifth, but sort of fading as a likely winner. Ronefalk right in the backside of Ongaro. And they are now in the shape where they could actually both think about stopping for fuel for the final time. Ronefalk as close as he could be over timing and scoring. Up and over the J-Concept single. Is either of them taking fuel? Yes, in for fuel comes Ronefalk. So, up, down, Pierre Ronefalk and Adrien Berton. That's the last fuel stop and away. and he gets out ahead of Canas. Right, let's stick with our leader. It's with Ongaro going through the Huddy corner with Ongaro down the straight there. So with Ongaro into the X-ray hairpin, because it's now him to make hay while the sun shines till he comes into fuel, which I can't think will be more than the next lap or the next lap. Trying to keep an eye on Ronefalk to make sure he's not making any errors off camera. And then we'll see where they come out when the final stops are done. There's a bit of traffic ahead. If you can reach the end now, it would make sense for Ongaro to pull the car in, the team to pull it in so he hasn't got to pass the traffic. Let's start looking clear. And that's what they're doing. So in comes Ongaro into the pit lane. Rolls down. He's the car at the back of this. There it goes, the one, and he's out. Right, so down he goes. They're right together. Oh! And that could be it. Ronefalk could see Ongaro. He could see Ongaro coming out of the pits, and he just lobbed it, but full send got it wrong. And with 5 minutes to go, suddenly what would have been neck and neck is now 4 or 5 seconds. And that is a kind of a distraction that you see from drivers. And he's now got to get his head back together again, because he's dropped a bit of the gap between himself and Canas. And Ronefalk so close there, but 5 minutes to go. Is that where it's all changed? Is that where the World Championship has been won and lost? I mean, obviously it's not just one roll, it's not just one accident, but that's right at the end, the one that always seems to count. There were 20 races prior to Abu Dhabi last year, but we were all convinced that the World Championship was won and lost by Michael Massey, but obviously it all went on the previous races. There have been a number of errors made by the drivers, but we're all convinced that might be it. The gap, 4.4 seconds last time round. Can Ronefalk get any closer with 4 minutes to go? There's about 5 laps or so left, perhaps 6 maybe. 5 of this one and 5 more, I would say. So he needs from somewhere to end up being a second faster than a man who's been the fastest man here the entirety of the weekend. Canas running third. Fend running fourth. So remember that gap. It was 4.438 seconds. They're coming round the corner. Ronefalk. This time round, it's 3.8, so half a second gain by Ronefalk that time. So whether this is psychological, I don't know. Ogden being told to get out of the way, and he does very well. Well done, Cole gets out the way of the chasing Ronefalk. Ronefalk picked up half a second. Now it's a Viking on full send. He has nothing to lose. Oh yeah, he might come third rather than second, but does that matter? I don't think so. I'd say he's gaining this lap as well. It must be hard to know how to pace it for Ongaro, because staying on 4 wheels is absolutely the most important thing of all in the last 3.5 minutes of this final. But definitely Ronefalk is gaining, but is it quick enough? Because the laps are running out, the time is running out, and he has to keep perfect. With one more error and he's gone. Well, we've gone from winning the World Championship. Okay, so they go round and over the line. This time it goes down to 3 seconds. 0.8 has been gained. So 0.8 of a second gain that time round. Up the hill. If he carries on going like this, they're going to be together with about a lap to go. I'm sure Ongaro's got something else in reserve, and he's just driving within himself to try and see what he can do. But a 49.493 last time round from Ronefalk. Stunning driving. He's making up for his own error, but that's what it is. It's his own error that's caused a problem over the rumble strips. Dropping down. I don't think he's gained much this time, I'll be honest with you. As we get into 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Ongaro's just being helped through the traffic, which is fine. A little minor error actually by Ongaro. Then another minor error by Ongaro. Little 0.2 errors here and there. Ronefalk is coming. Ronefalk is coming. And he goes over the line now. And the gap has gone down to 2.6. 0.4 that time. That's not enough. He needs to find a little bit more. He needs to be able to poke his nose right behind Ongaro and start frightening him. Bruno Coelho, I think, moves out the way. 2 cars, 2 back markers now between Ronefalk and Ongaro. One of them is Johnny Skidmore, I think, in the 10 car. He's going to be asked to move out the way, and he goes super wide, does a great job. They're on the same piece of track now as they come down the roller coaster. Next car for Ronefalk will be Bruno. You can see Ongaro exiting the rumble section as Ronefalk goes round now. They're certainly less than it was, which was 2.6, but it's still probably enough for them to keep going. And we're going now, we're not long running round the corner. That gap has gone down to, oh, it's gone up. It's gone up to 3 seconds. Up to 3 seconds. It's looking like, let's move our focus to Ongaro, the number 1 car coming up the hill, because it's looking like he's going to retain his championship in what has been an absolutely stupendous final, an amazing final, a final that's seen one man climb from 11th to 2nd, another man climb from 13th to 4th, but it may be an all-European podium at this European World Championships, as the American challenge has faded through bad luck mostly, if I'm honest. But Ronefalk now has, I think it may just be one more lap. So to catch up, oh, what are you doing on me for? Don't owe me. And Ronefalk's over. Ronefalk's over. So off camera, Ronefalk's over. And Ongaro, no, stick with Ongaro. Ongaro coming up the line now, coming up the hill. Absolutely on Ongaro. This is not Ongaro's last lap. It might be Ronefalk's. He's so far behind. Ongaro, the Italian. It's looking like Associated are going to take about their 47th World Championship. Let's be a bit tighter if we can on our forthcoming world champion. Let's celebrate Davide Ongaro. He leads by 7 seconds. It looks like Fens had a problem and dropped out, which is very bad luck for him. But Davide Ongaro is going to retain his world championship. He's going to become the first person to retain the championship ever. He's going to be the first person to win twice for about 40 years. It is an absolutely unbelievable performance by Davide Ongaro. He gets across the line any second now. He is going to get a lap of honour. Davide Ongaro is your world champion. He has a lap of honour. He is going to win because Ronefalk will get caught by the time. It's Ronefalk in second. It's going to be Canas in third. It's going to be Mayfield in fourth, I think. Is it going to be... It's Mayfield in... He hasn't got so far behind, got past yet. So such a big gap between, but look at this. Look at the Italian. Look at the result. It's what it's going to be. He's got to finish the race. Ongaro needs to finish the race. And we will... Ongaro needs to finish the race. Let's get back down. Let's get down to Matt for all the celebrations.
Good race. Congratulations to Davide Ongaro, the
One, two.
Hey, Davide! Let's do this properly. Got it wrong. I got it wrong again. Davide Ongaro taking the congratulations of the rest of the field. I've got myself caught in the cup of an absolutely epic event. Kiliches, Tessman, and the rest of the team. Davide Ongaro, you have retained your world championship 4 years after the last one. How do you feel?
I'm super excited. I mean, I cannot say thanks to everyone. Thank you. Thank you. All my family, all the Italian friends that come here for me, and all my dad, my sponsor, everyone, just everyone.
But at the start, it looked like you were just going to disappear, but that was an incredibly intense fun. Then Ronefalk came back from 11th. The Ronefalk-Ongaro rivalry, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we struggled a bit at the end with the tires. I think like everyone, and we did one fuel stop more than him. So I had to push in the first laps to pull away from him. But yeah, really happy, really tired.
Congratulations, two-time world champion, 6 years a world champion as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Thank you, Davide Ongaro, the world champion 2022.